All right, so welcome. Today we'll be looking at coordinate geometry. So before we look at some practice question, okay, we have to understand some important definitions, okay, regarding coordinate geometry. Okay, so the first one is you have to understand what the gradient is. Okay, you have to understand what the gradient is. The gradient is also known as the slope of a line. So it's how the degree of the slantness of a line that you're going to draw. Okay, so the gradient of a line through a point, let's say x1, comma y1, okay, and another point, let's say x2, comma y2. If you want to find the gradient between these 2 points, okay, this gradient is represented by a small letter m. You're going just to say m is equals to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Okay, so you're looking at the change in height minus the change in the length. Because the y, we're talking about the vertical, right? Then the x, we're talking about the horizontal. So how much has changed as you are going up, okay? And then how much has changed as you are going in the horizontal direction? That's the gradient. So that will be the formula that we'll be using. The second thing that you have to know is the equation of a line. Okay, equation of a line. So you can find the equation of a line using 2 formulas. There's one where you just have the gradient and you have a point. So let's say I have my gradient m and the point x1, comma y1. So how would I find the equation of a line here? The equation of a line here will simply be y minus y1 is equals to m and then x minus x1. Okay, so I have the gradient and the point there. Okay, you can also find the equation of a line if you have 2 points. Okay, so let's say x1, y1, and then another point, x2, y2. You can still find the equation of a line through this. So it's just going to be 1 minus y. You can choose any of the points that you want. Okay, but just to be consistent, I'll choose this point. So minus y1 is equals to, and then here I'm supposed to put the gradient, but the gradient I don't have. But since I have these 2 points here, I can actually find the gradient. So the gradient we said was y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Then this will just multiply x minus x1. So this is how you'd find the equation of a line if you have been given 2 points. Okay, so the other concept is on the perpendicular and the parallel lines. Okay, so if you have parallel lines, I mean perpendicular lines, okay, this simply means lines that are meeting at 90 degrees. Okay, so let's say I have a line like this, and then I have another line like this. So you can see that between this line and this line, there's a 90 degrees there. Okay, that's what we mean by say perpendicular lines. So let's say this one has gradient m1, and then this vertical line has gradient m2. The special property for perpendicular lines is that when you multiply the m1 with the m2, you are always going to get a minus 1. Okay, as long as the 2 lines that you have are perpendicular. If you get their gradients, you multiply them, you're going to always get a minus 1. Okay, then for the parallel lines, okay, so for the parallel lines, m1 is equals to m2. So for example, if I have a line like that and a line like that, if this is m1, the gradient, then even this guy here is also what? m1. Okay, so they are equal, they are gradients. Okay, another thing that you have to know is the midpoint, which is very easy. So if I have 2 points, 1 and another one, 2, okay, then the midpoint, okay, midpoint will simply be equals to x1 plus x2 divided by 2, comma, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So that's the formula when you have you're asked to find a midpoint. Okay. The other thing that you have to know is what we call as a perpendicular bisector. Okay, so perpendicular bisector. Okay, so what is a perpendicular bisector? Okay, so a perpendicular bisector of a segment simply a line that will pass through the midpoint of that segment. So let's say this is my segment here, my line segment, right? Okay, so a perpendicular, and this is point A, maybe that is point B. Okay, this is my line segment. So a perpendicular bisector will come and pass through the midpoint of this line. So I have point A and B, so midpoint of the line AB. So it can be somewhere there. So a perpendicular bisector will come and pass through this point like that, and it will make a 90 degrees as it does that. Okay, that's what we call as a perpendicular bisector. So it is actually perpendicular to the segment because this is a line segment, and then I have this one, the bisector, the perpendicular bisector. Why is it perpendicular bisector? Because it's cutting through the midpoint there. Okay, and it's actually meeting this at 90 degrees. Okay, so those are the important things that you have to know about coordinate geometry. And then I think with that knowledge, we can now move on and look at an example here. So it's a very simple example because they are in the CAT 2 for 2024. Okay, so let's look at this one. So if you have any questions, please ask. They're saying a figure below shows a quadrilateral PQRS in which the point P is 2,8, Q is 8,6. Okay, and then they're saying the point R lies on the perpendicular bisector of PQ, and the point S lies on the y-axis. Okay, so if it lies on the y-axis, then simply means my x there is 0. Okay, the equation of QR is being given as that, and the angle SPQ, so S is there, PQ, so you always go to the letter that is in the middle there. So SPQ, so it means it's the angle that is there. So they told us that this angle here is 90 degrees. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that this line and this line here are meeting at 90 degrees. Okay, so the drawing is not up to scale, but so we follow the whatever they are saying in the question. Okay, it might not look 90, but they've told that it's 90, so we'll take it as 90. Okay, so meaning that this line and this line are meeting at 90 degrees. Okay, the other thing that we were told that R, or the point R, you can see the point R down there, lies on the perpendicular bisector of PQ. So where is the PQ? The PQ, it's this line segment here. There's P, there's Q. So the perpendicular bisector of this line will come and pass through R. So what does that mean? Okay, remember the perpendicular bisector will pass through the midpoint of a line segment, right? So this is the line segment that we have, the PQ. So a perpendicular bisector is supposed to pass through the midpoint like that. So we've been told that this line goes on and passes through R like that. Okay, so this one here is my bisector, my perpendicular bisector. So you can see that this perpendicular bisector is meeting this line segment at 90 degrees as well, there. Okay. All right, so enough with the drawing. Let's look at what they're asking us to find now. So the first question is find the equation of PQ. So PQ. So I can see that PQ has the point 2,8, Q has the point 8,6. So you want me to find the equation that passes through this point. Okay, so we've been given 2 points. So it will just be y minus y1 is equals to, I gave this formula, y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, then x minus x1. So which one are we taking as our y1 and then y2? Okay, so let's take this one as a x1, y1, x2, y2. So meaning my equation of the line will be y minus 8, because this is my y1, is equals to y2 is 6 minus y1, which is 8, divided by x2 is 8 minus x1, which is 2. Then in the brackets are 1 minus the x1, which is what? 2. Okay, so that is what I have. So meaning that I'm going to have y minus 8 is equals to, here 6 minus 8, I get minus 2 divided by 8 minus 2, I get 6, and then x minus 2. So this is y minus 8 is equals to minus, okay, so this would be minus 1 over 3, and then x minus 2. Okay, so I'm looking for the equation of the line. Okay, you can even end here if you want, or you can say, okay, I don't want to end there. Let me say this 3, because it's in the denominator, can multiply with whatever I have on my left, and then this minus 1 multiplies with whatever I have on the right. So I have 3 multiplied by y, I get 3y, minus 3 multiplied by 8, 24, is equals to 1 multiplied by x, I get minus x, minus 1 multiplied by 2, I get plus 2. So my equation would be like 3y is equals to minus x plus 2 plus 24. So that will just give me 3y is equals to minus x plus 26. Okay, minus x plus 26. So that is my equation of the line what? PQ. So any questions there, guys, on how we found the equation of that line? Any questions? Okay, so let me also anyway, it's okay. Okay, any questions there? Okay, no question. I'll move on to part 2. Part 2 says the coordinates of S. So remember, S was on the y-axis. So S, since it's on the y-axis, the x there is 0. And then the y is what I don't know. So now they want me to find the coordinates of S. Okay, so to find the coordinate of S, I just have to know the equation of this line here, which is SP. Okay, I need to know the equation of this line. But this line is actually perpendicular to the PQ. So from the PQ, I can get my gradient. Remember the general form of the equation of a straight line? Okay, it is like this. Okay, m and then x minus x1, right? So uh I can actually say the coefficient of this x here, because I multiply this and this, so mx, but this one becomes a number. So when I multiply it with the mx1, this will just be a number. Okay, but here I have the gradient and a variable x. So the coefficient of x is always the gradient. Okay, so remember here the gradient we had found was 1 over 3. So to get back the gradient, I just divide this equation by 3, by 3, by 3, so that I have y is equals to minus 1 over 3x plus 26 over 3. So now the gradient from this line is just the coefficient of what? X. So meaning that the line PQ here, it has m, we say m1 of what? Minus 1 over 3. Okay, and then to find the equation of this, I already have a point where it's passing, so I just need the gradient here, which is my m2. So what is the relationship now between the line PS, or I can say SP, with the line PQ? Is that they are perpendicular. So when I multiply m1 with m2, I should get a minus 1. So this will be m2 multiplied by the m1 is minus 1 over 3 is equals to minus 1. Okay, here I'm just going to multiply by minus 3 throughout. So it will be m2 here is equals to minus 3 with this, I get 3. So my gradient for this line here is m2 is equals to positive 3. Okay, so that when I multiply this and this, I should always get a what? A minus 1. So I found the gradient of this line here, and then I also have the point. So I have the gradient m2 as 3, and I have the point 2 comma 8. I can actually find the equation of this guy. So it will be y minus yy is equals to m and then x minus x1. Okay, so this will just be y minus the y1 is the 8, and then the m is the 3, x minus 2. So this gives me y is equals to 3x minus 6. This one goes to the other side, plus 8. So y is equals to 3x plus 2. Okay, so the equation of this guy here is actually y is equals to 3x plus 2. Okay, that is the equation there, the equation of this line. So any question there on how we found the equation of the line? Okay, so if there are no question, then we can now find the point or the coordinates of S. So S, we already know that the X is 0. And then it has this equation that is passing through it. This is given by this. So my Y will just be 3, but my X there is 0, then plus 2. So this will be Y is equals to 2. So S is simply 0, comma what? 2. Okay, so any questions there? Okay, if there are no questions, I continue. Part 3, they're saying the equation of a perpendicular bisector, PQ. The equation of the perpendicular bisector of PQ. So PQ is this one. Okay, the perpendicular bisector is this black line here, the bisector here. So we've been told that this bisector actually passes through R. Okay, so since it's a perpendicular bisector, then it has to pass through what? Uh, it has to pass through the midpoint. So what is the midpoint of P and Q? So midpoint, okay, of PQ will just be 2 plus 8 divided by 2, 8 plus 6 divided by 2. So this will be 10 divided by 2, I get 5, comma. This will be 14 divided by 2, I get 7. So that is my midpoint, 5, comma 7. Okay, so here at this point, I have the point 5, comma 7, and then this perpendicular bisector, okay, this perpendicular bisector, it is perpendicular to this. So meaning that its gradient, the gradient of this guy, will just be what? Would just give me a -1 if I multiply with the gradient of this PQ. So it's a similar situation to this. So meaning the M2, even for this guy, is actually 2 because it's perpendicular to this guy here. Okay, remember I said the sketch is not um, up to scale because this one here was supposed to be parallel to this, but the sketch is not up to scale. So meaning the gradient of this black line, the perpendicular bisector, is also what? 3. So I'm just going to say to find the equation of this guy to be y minus y1, which is now 7, is equals to the m, which is 3, and then x minus x1, which is now what? 5. So I get y is equals to 3x minus 15 plus 7, which gives me y is equals to 3x minus 8. Okay, so that is the equation of a perpendicular bisector, this guy here. It's 3x minus 8. Okay, so I'm done with that. Any question? Any question? Okay, so now the other question is to find the coordinates of R. So R, it has this perpendicular bisector, okay, and then it has this equation, the QR. So remember the QR was given this equation here. It was given as 3y is equals to 4x minus 14. This was the equation of this. And then we've also found the equation of this bisector, which is this. So to find the coordinates of R, we just solve this equation here for bisector and this one for QR simultaneous. So this one says y is equals to 3x minus 8. And then this one has 3y is equals to 4x minus 14. So wherever there's a y, I'm going to put 3x minus 8. So it will be 3, okay? And that will just be the y is 3x minus 8, okay? And then 4x minus 14. So this will be 9x minus 3 multiplied by 2, that is 24. I mean 3 multiplied by 8, that is 24. Then I have 4x minus 14. So like terms together, I have 9x minus 4x is equals to 24 minus 14. So this will be 5x is equals to 10 divided by 5 divided by 5. X is equals to 2. Okay, so x is equals to 2. What about the y? So the y, I just pick this equation here. So it will be y is equals to 3. X is 2 minus 8. So this will be 6 minus 8, which is just what? Minus 2. So the coordinates of R there are simply 2 comma minus 2. Okay, any questions there?
Sam, may you please repeat a bit on the coordinates of R?
Okay, so on the coordinates of R, we have two equations. We have this equation for QR, which was given in the equation, this one here. So this is the equation that I put for this QR here. And then we also found the equation of the perpendicular bisector to the line PQ, which was this equation in the black line. So to find this point here, we are simply solving simultaneous equation of the equation for this black line and the equation for this red line here. So I just got the equation of a perpendicular bisector, the black line, and then I substituted it into the equation of the QR there. So where there was y here in the equation of a QR, I put the equation of a perpendicular bisector that we had found, which was y is equals to 3x minus 3. So this y, I'd replace it by 3x minus 3, and then I was able to find x is equals to 2. Then now, once you have your 2, you can either use this equation or that equation to find the y. So the one that is easier to use is this one. But literally, if you also use this one, the 3y is equals to 4x minus 14, you still find the minus 2, because this will be 3y is equals to 4 multiplied by 2 minus 14. So this will be 8 minus 14, 3y. So meaning that 3y will just be equals to what? What is 8 minus 14? That is minus 6. So I divide by 3 divided by 3, y is equals to minus 2 still. Okay, so you can use any equation. You can use this or this to find the value of y. But to find the value of x, okay, you just have to solve this equation here and this one in black. You have to solve them simultaneously. Okay, any questions there? I don't know if you've understood the one who asked the question.
Yes, yes, I got the point.
Okay. Okay, so the other question was to find the area. Okay, so we are finding the area of what? So the question says find the area of the triangle PRS. So P is there. Okay, so P, the R is there, and then S. So I'm trying to find the area of this guy here. You've seen the area that I'm finding, this guy here. That's the area that I'm trying to find. So there, you can use the direct method if you want, okay? Because I have the coordinates here. So the coordinate there is 0, 2. The coordinate there, the coordinate on R is 2, minus 2. Then the coordinate on the P is 2, 8. So I can use the direct method where I just find the area of a triangle by using the coordinates directly. Or I can say, okay, or I can say here, let's get the height of this guy. Okay, we get the highest of this guy, and then here we also get the base of this guy. Okay, and then once we have those, we can easily use the half b times h formula to find the area. Okay, so let's try to use the direct method formula. So if I just want to use the coordinates there, how will my formula look like for the area? So I have these points. Uh, I have 2, minus 2. Okay, and then I have 0, 2, and then I have 2, 8. So how would I use these points to find the area direct? Anyone who knows? Hello? Anyone who knows the easy method of finding the area using coordinates so that we don't have to do the base, the height, and the like. Anyone who knows the formula? No one knows.
Will be x1, x2,
It will be what?
x1,
X1.
horizontal, yes,
Mm-hmm.
x1, x2,
Mm-hmm.
x3,
X3. And then what?
x1,
x1 again.
X1 again. Yes. Y1.
Y1,
Y2.
Y2, Y3, and then
Y2,
Y1 again, right?
Y3. Yes.
Okay, so are you sure? Or you have forgotten something there?
No,
Yes.
can you more?
It's forgotten to put a what?
Have like open
Half, yes.
brackets.
It's area. We are
Yes.
finding area. Yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Then
so
X other
so
side.
to find the area now, we'll be multiplying the coordinate there with this, the coordinate there with this, the coordinate there with this. Okay, and then now we say minus, and then we start multiplying now in this direction like this. Okay, so this formula is very simple. So I'll just say half, okay, and then I'll take this one as my x1, y, so it will be 2. This one as my x2, 0. That one as my x3, 2. And then I go back to my x1, which is also what? 2. And then for the y, I also do the same. So this will be minus 2, 2, 8, minus 2. Okay, then I do this kind of multiplication. So I'll write it here. So it will be 1 over 2, okay? And then I'll multiply now. So 2 multiplied by 2, I get 4, plus 0 multiplied by 8, I get 0. Then 2 multiplied by minus 2. What am I going to get? I'm going to get minus 4. Okay, so this is the first part. Then I say minus. On the other part now, I start multiplying like this. Okay, so it will be 2 multiplied by the 8, I get 16. Plus 2 multiplied by 2, I get a 4. Okay, and then what is it now? 0 multiplied by this guy, I get my plus 0 like this. Okay, so these ones should be bars here. I don't know what I was doing. So those ones should be bars. Okay, so this is what I have. So meaning that I can erase this, meaning that this will be half, and then in modulus, I'm going to have 4 minus 4, that is 0. Then minus, here I'm going to have 20, so that is minus 20 like that. So this will just be 1 over 2, then minus 20. Okay, but the bars means we ignore the negative, or the negative disappears. The modulus cancels out the negative. So this is the same as 20 divided by what? 2. And that is just going to give me 10 units squared, because it's the area. Okay, so we can find the area of any triangle using these methods as long as we've been given the what? The points. Okay, so that's what you can use there. Or if you want, you can find the height, the length, and then you multiply. You're still going to find the same answer. Okay, still going to find the same answer. Okay, and then the other question here was saying find the area of the quadrilateral. So now we're finding the area of this whole thing here. Okay, so we're just going to use this same approach here. Okay, so let me just erase this and then add the point that we are missing. So the point that we're missing is this. So I'll add it. So 8, 6 like that. Okay, so meaning I'm moving from here, 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 and then there. So I'm finding the area with 4 points now. So it will be what? To be area is equals to half. Okay, so it will be 2, 0, 2, 8, and then 2 again, then minus 2, 2. Here the 2 is 8, the 8 is 6, and then the 2 is minus 2, like this. And then it will be 1 over 2. Okay, so how am I multiplying here? I'm multiplying first in this manner, like this, like that. Okay, so what am I going to get there? I'm going to get in brackets 2 multiplied by 2, 4, 0 multiplied by 8, plus 0 plus 2 multiplied by 6. Okay, 2 multiplied by 6 gives me what now? Okay, gives me 12, and then 2 multiplied by minus this guy, I'm going to get minus 16. Okay, that's what I'm going to get. And then I'll say minus, and then now I start multiplying in this direction like this. So it will be 2 multiplied by 6, I get 12. 8 multiplied by 8, I get plus 64. 2 multiplied by 2, I get plus 4. Okay, I get plus 4. And then 0 multiplied by minus 2, I get plus 0. So this is what I have here. Okay, so I'm just going to have 1 over 2 modulus, and then this here will be 12 minus 16, I get minus 4, plus the 4, I get 0. Then minus, on the other part, I'm going to get 12 plus 4, that would be 16. Okay, and then that 16, I add it to 64. I'm going to get minus 80 like that. So this will just be 1 over 2 and then minus 80. Okay, but the modulus of minus 80 is simply what? 40. So I'm dividing the 40 by 2. The area there is just going to be 20 units squared. Okay, so the area of this whole thing here is simply 20 units squared. Okay, so any questions there on the areas? Okay, so meaning that we can look at the last part. Okay, so I can even erase this anyway. So now the questions, the last question says, given that the line 12 px minus y minus 1 is equals to 0 is parallel to PS. Where's PS? PS is this guy here. So what was the equation of the PS that we had found? We found y was equals to 3x plus 2. This was the line of the PS. Find the possible value of y. So I just want to express this in the form of a standard linear equation. So in this form. Okay, I can say y is equals to mx plus c. This is a constant. So I want to express it in this form. So I just want y to be on its own. So I'll take this y the other side. So it will be y is equals to, then what do I remain with? I remain with 12px, then minus 1. Okay, so this is the standard form. And then this guy here, y, is equals to 3x plus 2. But we've been told that this is parallel to this. So if it is parallel, then what does it mean? It means it has the same gradient, right? So now from this equation here, we can easily tell that the gradient there is what? 3. So the coefficient of x, as long as y here is just alone, then the coefficient of x becomes the gradient. Okay, if it was something like 2y is equals to this, then we can't get directly the 3. No, first have to divide throughout by 2. So make sure that the y is always alone on the left side. So the coefficient of x now becomes the gradient. So if this is the gradient for this, then it also has to mean that it's the gradient for that. So here we're just simply going to say the 12px there, because it's a gradient there. Okay, it's a coefficient of x, should be equals to the gradient there because these lines are parallel. So this should be equals to 3. Okay, so p will just be 3 over 12. So that p will just be 1 over what? Over 4. Okay, so that is my p there. My p is simply 1 over 4. Okay, so any questions there?
So I have a question. What
Yes, you
if,
can ask.
what if you are able to calculate the internal line or external line?
I can't get what you're saying. Can you speak up?
Okay, if you are taught to calculate the external line or internal line,
You're taught to calculate what?
internal line or external line, the line which passes inside the same quadrilateral, yes.
I didn't get your question cleared. So I don't know if is there someone who got the question that he was asking cleared? I didn't get the question cleared. Like the network is breaking and the like. Someone who got the question to just repeat it so I get what you are saying.
Yeah, the man is asking that what if you are told to find the internal line and the external line?
You are told to find the external line and the internal line.
Yes, yes.
The internal line for what?
Okay. To make it simple, Sam, I have a question now. Send in the group so that
Okay, okay, okay.
we go through it. Yes.
Okay, I think you should do that because I'm not understanding the question.
All right.
All right, so yeah, so those are the basics of coordinate geometry. Okay, it's just about finding equations, missing coordinates, finding the area. Yeah, and then using the properties if lines are parallel, what happens to their gradient? If lines are perpendicular, what happens again to their what? To their gradient. That's all. Okay, so this is the question that I wanted us to go through, but you can find more videos on the website. So I don't know if there are how many tutorial sheets now. I think there are 8 tutorial sheets. So you can see from this tutorial sheet 1 here, the videos are already there. So you can go through these questions at your own time as you are preparing for your final exam. This is tutorial sheet 2. I think all the questions were solved. Okay, and they are there on the website. There's tutorial sheet 3 on polynomials. I think this one is part of your cut. Okay, and last week I think I did a revision session there. And also indices, logs, all these questions here, they're already solved. Question 4 is on binomial. Okay, so most of you are having challenges with binomial. Make sure you watch the videos that Tutamari has uploaded. So all these questions that you can see here, he uploaded on how to solve them. Okay, so you don't always have to wait for us to have a class for you to learn something new. No, you can actually learn at your own time, at your own pace. Okay, because all these videos were made and they're there on the website. Tutorial sheet 5 is on trigonometry. Again, the same thing. All the videos are there. Okay, how to prove all these identities. The videos are there on the website. Tutorial sheet 6, which is coordinate geometry. Okay, like the thing that we are doing today. Uh, the solutions are there on the website. Okay, and very soon, the videos on the vectors, like this tutorial sheet here, will also be uploaded, as well as the differential calculus, this tutorial sheet here. All the videos here are going to be what? Are going to be uploaded. Okay, so don't always wait for us to have a live class for you to learn. You can learn literally at any particular time. Okay, and then for those who have never seen the website, let me actually show you. So just go to Chrome and then you type in discretelearning.com like that. Then you click search. Okay, once you search, it will take you to the website here. So on the website here, we have a lot of courses that we offer, and math, chemistry, physics is one of them. So if you, for example, you register for math, you can simply click on math. You go to this folder, general mathematics, click on it. Okay. And then once it opens, you see that you're going to have the topics folder where you have the topics videos. We have the folder for the tutorial sheets. You have the folder for the past papers, as well as the folder for, oh, what did I say? Topics. Uh, yeah, so summarize notes. That's what I forgot. So if you want the topics, come here. You learn the full topics. The video are already there. Okay, the past papers, we have some past papers uploaded. The tutorial sheets, you come here. So just click on the tutorial sheet here. Okay, and then you go to your university. So if you're from Mukua, for example, you go Mukua. Okay, and then you go to your intake, which is 2025, 2026. You open there, you're going to find all the tutorial sheets there. Okay, so you can see from tutorial sheet 1 all the way to tutorial sheet 6. Very soon, tutorial sheet 7, 8 will be uploaded. You can learn using these videos at your own time. Okay, for example, if I just open tutorial sheet 2 there, you see all the videos from question 1 all the way to 25. The videos are there explaining clearly on how to do things. All right, so that's all I had today. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to actually subscribe, okay, to the website, you can check the link in the description below here. For those who are watching on YouTube, okay, it's going to guide you on how you can register. If you want to contact us, the number is 0779 96 40 and then 10. Okay, that's the number there. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. This has been Tutor Post Solutions. Until next time, always there for you.